he's just a once in a lifetime type of guy. Maybe in a few years, someone will come up who's been training from like 4 years old. That we'll see, but.
Download the AllStar app. Make your picks for UFC fights, challenge your friends, level up and win prizes. Link in description. Get it now.
I just saw that you turned 26 a couple weeks back, man. You know, some people take birthdays pretty seriously. You know, how was it celebrating birthday during fight camp?
There was no celebration, brother. I just had a dinner with my family, with my girlfriend, and we just hung out, and that was really it. You know, they came out to Queens. I'm in Long Island, so Queens was close, and picked a convenient spot. Just had a nice little dinner, and it was really just that. You know, no cake, no nothing, obviously, because I'm dieting. But overall, you know, that's what means a lot to me is family, friends, and my loved ones. So that's all that I could ask for.
Yeah, they'll probably have a cake for you when you come back with the victory, right?
Yeah, big
Yeah,
cake for that
yeah,
one.
for
Yeah.
sure. Yeah, man. Speaking of the victory, UFC 295. You know, thoughts on fighting in MSG and having your family and friends be able to see you live in the UFC octagon. You know, what I mean, it's a big deal because a lot of dudes fighting the UFC, they don't get their family and friends. They don't get that opportunity.
Yeah, man, this is a dream come true. I've always like envisioned this and dreamed about this, just being in the UFC and then especially fighting at MSG. The fact that it's such a big card and the way my career unfolded to get to this point, it just feels like it was written. You know, I growing up in New York City, being at MSG so many times and watching even UFC events there, this is just a dream come true, man. And to put a stamp on it, we're gonna get a big win and just really live my dreams, man. I'm just blessed, really. That's the only word to say. You know, I love the UFC. I love to be here. I love New York City, so I'm blessed all around.
Yeah, like you said, it's a dream come true, and you know, envision yourself walking out into the arena. It's
Yeah,
crazy, right? Like,
yeah. Oh, it's gonna be so cool, bro.
yeah.
Like, uh, oh, there's it's such a dense Albanian population out here too, so it's gonna be packed with Albanians. Considering even the tickets, like nosebleeds, are like $900. I know like 50 people already that bought tickets, and they bought like low level seats. You know, $2,000 a ticket. So it shows how much they support me and how much they believe in me and how proud they are. You know, to spend that type of money just to be there to witness this moment, it means everything, man. You know, like that's the beauty of being in my hometown, and it just adds to the fun. It adds to the motivation. It adds to
Yeah,
everything.
and adding to the motivation, Jamall Emmers, man, the dude is a test. Let's put it
Yeah.
that way. He's a test, and what is your breakdown of his skill set?
Look, he's like you said, he is a test. He's good everywhere. He has long reach. He mixes it up well, striking, kicking, grappling. He has good top control. You know, he lost. I thought he won the Jack Jenkins fight. To be completely honest, you know, I like Jack Jenkins, but I thought Emmers did win the fight. He had a split decision against Giga, so who's obviously doing very well. It's not an easy fight. He's well rounded everywhere. He has good cardio. But I just think where I'm at in my career and in my life and in my training, I just think, especially it being my hometown, and I just feel like I have something to prove in there. And the fact that it's a test of myself, and it's a test of my skill set. I've been putting in the work, and I'm gonna just go out there and give it everything and beat this guy.
Yeah, and rewinding to back to what you were saying earlier about the path you took to get here. The path, if anybody knows, is you fought for Bellator, then you was on a Contender Series in 2020, didn't get the result you wanted. 2022, you got the result, just didn't get the contract. You know, those experiences,
Yeah,
they affect you, man. But it seemed like they didn't really affect you in a negative way at all.
I everything I do in life, I always try to look at the positives. You know what I mean? Taking the best things out of every situation. Even the last fight, a short notice. You know, even though I lost, I just always try to find the positives in it. I used all those other obstacles as stepping stones to just motivate me. Use it as a lesson, I guess I could say, to just get better, more experience. And I just believe everything happens in God's timing, man. So as long as I'm doing everything I can, then everything will work out for the best.
And you're on the short list for short notice, and
Mhm.
I'm pretty sure they tossed you a few offers and they just didn't materialize before this one against Sean Woodson. How is it being in that position? You know what I mean? Like you're like right there, but you're not there.
Yeah, those actually, out of everything, those are the most frustrating parts because it's like a roller coaster of emotions. It's like they tell me to step in, I accept, and I'm thinking I'm about to fight in a week or 2 weeks, like Mosar specifically as one example, which was in Newark, which is as close to home as it gets besides MSG. And then he turned down the fight. He wanted another option, and they went with Diego Lopez. So it was just a roller coaster of emotions. I remember that day specifically. I was so pissed off. I went into the gym to train. I was like, man, like f this. I'm not training today. I was just so pissed off, you know. But the next day, you know, every day is a new day. So I stayed the course. Went back in the gym. That passed me. The next opportunity is gonna come, and I just stayed ready for it, or as ready as I could at least.
Yeah, and even after the Contender Series, the second fight, you still went out there and searched for fights and went international, did what you needed to do to get that win streak stronger. And hey, you got your opportunity. Any regrets with that? Taking that fight. I know there was a lot of things going on ahead of the fight, even during the fight. Any regrets?
Any regrets? I mean, I just wish I didn't eat sushi that day. If they would have called me like 3 hours before, I would have honestly made weight, had a better weight cut, and been healthier in the fight. You know, and I'm not saying the fight would have went different, but at least I would have been had a little bit extra juice in my tank for the fight. So if they would have just called me 2 hours before, I wouldn't have had for lunch, and it would have been a lot better. Other than that, I did everything I could in my power. I went in there, I fought my heart out. I won the full 15 against Woodson, who's a phenomenal fighter. He's not a scrub by any means. So it is what it is. You know, like I said, I just take everything as a learning lesson, as more motivation for this. Like I have something extra to prove in this fight to show that I belong in the UFC and I am who I say I am, and my team believes in what they see. So this is where I'm at mentally with everything. There's really no regrets just besides the sushi.
Yeah, man. People don't understand. Once you start popping sushis, you know what I mean? Like it just doesn't stop.
Yeah, soy sauce, everything is so good, bro.
It just melts in your mouth, man. I'm telling you, it's like butter.
Yeah.
Um, Now 3 months, man. They give you a pretty quick turnaround, UFC standard wise, and you must be happy too. You know, what I mean, you don't have to sit on the sidelines and kind of like stew in this in the debut that you had, right? You get to just jump back into camp, and your teammates are in camp, so it's just like you kind of put that in the rearview mirror real quick, don't you?
Yeah. Look, with a win or a loss, whatever it is, it's done. You know, like even with a win, let's say, you know, God willing, I do win November 11th. I put it past me the next day. You know what I mean? Because the next opportunity is gonna come, the next opponent, the next guy coming to take my head off. I don't look at wins and losses as like a defining moment by any means. But yeah, I did ask for a quick turnaround. I did want to fight by the end of the year, and I was asking for MSG. Didn't know if I would get it, you know, because I had a loss in the debut, and they were putting like a big card together. But I guess, man, manifestation is real because me, Nazim, and Steamroller, we kept saying we're gonna fight at MSG together this year. We've been saying it since before I was even in the UFC, um, and then now we're all on the card together. It's so amazing how everything's happening. It feels like destiny.
Yeah, and that's an incredible lineup right there. You, Nazim, and Steve Roller, man. Those are some characters, right? How fun is it to train with them? You know, what I mean, training is hard, but those dudes are characters. Like they make you laugh, especially Steve Roller.
Yeah, Steamroller's a legend, man. He just has these one-liners always ready to go. Like trust the process. It's not our first rodeo. Right on schedule. It's just like he has these sayings and they fit in so perfect every day. And we joke about it all the time in the gym. But me, Nas, and Steam, we have great chemistry. We're like best friends even outside of the gym. We hang out a lot. So it's just like to be living our dreams and doing it together in our backyard, representing our team, representing New York. It's just like, again, man, it's dreams come true. And we really intend to make the best out of the night and get these big wins and finishes for all of us.
How far is MSG from the gym?
Driving like 40 minutes. Depends on traffic, actually. If there's traffic, bro, it'll take like an hour and a half. But it's about 20 miles, 22, 25 miles. It's not too far, you know?
No.
It's not too far, but it just depends on traffic, really.
Yeah, yeah. That's nothing, man. It's like 40 minutes is nothing for anybody to
Yeah,
drive.
yeah. New York and traffic and everything is not that bad. And I'm in the city. I hang out in the city a lot, you know, and in the boroughs especially. I have so many friends. All my friends are in the boroughs, really, because that's where I grew up. So, and man, it's just crazy to think about like the walkout. This is my home. Like fight week, I'll be walking in the streets I hang out in. It's just such a dream come true. I swear to God.
What do you expect though out of yourself in this fight coming up? You know, what I mean, there's a lot of circumstances surrounding it, but your expectations of yourself.
This I've never pushed this hard ever for a fight before. Ray and the team have really been putting me through the ringer. I just expect the best version of Dennis Buzukja to come out there, the version that I see in myself. And for Jamall to beat me, he's gonna have to kill me in my hometown. So that being said, I really think I'm gonna finish this guy.
All right, I got a couple more questions. You know, in the news recently, there's been the whole USADA UFC split,
Mm.
right? What do you think of all that?
Ah man, it's crazy. I was like, my first reaction was like, "Yo, are these guys gonna start juicing or start taking stuff?" I'm like, I don't even smoke weed. You know what I mean? I don't even drink alcohol. Like, so I'm like, are these guys gonna be taking all this crazy stuff? I'm gonna have to fight them. But I guess from what it seems like, they got like an FBI guy involved. They're gonna get another independent company. And then another thing was like, if they hire their own guys, like if they do it in house, are they gonna favor certain guys? Like I really didn't know what to expect. But the UFC standard is so high. They're so professional. I know they don't really play these games, so I think it's all going to work out for the best. Dana and the team, they're very smart. They're good at what they do, obviously, because the UFC wouldn't be where it is without them. So I trust them. I trust like justice, and I trust fair processing through everything.
Yeah, that's interesting. They hired a ex FBI agent that was like the head interrogator for Saddam Hussein or some
Nobody's
wild,
like,
yeah, some wild shit. And I was like, man, are they gonna have like undercover agents at the
yeah,
gyms or
right, like
something?
following us like private investigators or something.
Is that how they're gonna do it now? They're not even gonna test you. They're gonna follow you and like
Yeah,
have a
right,
mole or some
on
shit.
our house or something.
It's gonna be wild, man. Uh, UFC 295, man. You'll be fighting on the card, you know, early in the night, and then you got two crazy matchups, right? You got Stipe and Jones, and you got Prohaska and Alex Pereira. Which fight do you feel like is the most exciting matchup for you as a fan?
For me as a fan, I gotta say the co-main event, bro. It's just two killers, two bangers in there. Pereira and Jiri, who's just wild as fuck. Excuse my language. That's gonna be a sick fight. You know, John Jones and Stipe, they're technical guys. These two guys, they're just it's fireworks every time they fight. So I feel like bombs are gonna go off in that octagon when they fight. I feel like that's the people's main event.
For sure. And you know, speaking of John Jones, do you feel like John Jones is the GOAT?
Oh yeah, yeah, bro. There's how can you debate it? You know, I know people mention GSP or Khabib and stuff, but like John Jones, really, he never lost a fight. He went up to heavyweight, which is a big difference between like featherweight and lightweight. It's not 10 pounds; it's like 40 pound difference, and beat Gon in like a minute. And then in his whole career, the youngest champion in history, smashing everyone, beating legends his whole career, the way he's done it is just there's no one like him, man. That guy's special. I don't think anyone ever will do it like him. Maybe he's just a once in a lifetime type of guy. Maybe in a few years, someone will come up who's been training from like 4 years old that we'll see. But as of right now, there's no one. I don't even think there's a competition between who's the greatest.
Yeah, it's gonna be cool to be able to perform in MSG and then watch John Jones possibly retire in MSG on
Yeah,
the same night.
maybe Stipe too. It's like
Yeah, yeah.
legendary retirements. It's so crazy because my girlfriend brought this up to me a few weeks ago when I made my pro debut at Bellator. It was here in New York. It was my last pro fight in New York before this, and the main event was a legendary heavyweight fight, which was Fedor and Chael Sonnen. And then now my next fight in a big promotion UFC is in New York, and the main event, legendary heavyweight fight. So I thought it was a pretty cool like little coincidence.
Yeah, man. Great, man. November 11th, UFC 295, NYC, MSG. Dennis will be in action. It's gonna be wild, man, and all the best, man, in this fight, and you know the rest of the year, man. We'll see what happens.
Thank you, bro. Yeah, hopefully everything goes well and we're healthy. I just pray. I always pray for before the fights that both of us come out healthy, and because we have families to go back to. You know, it's a job at the end of the day. But I'm coming out with my hand raised. That's no matter what.